Alright guys, we're back to Island after a really long time. Like I usually say this. I keep repeating myself. Yes, I think the last time I played this was over 2 months ago. Well, last time, from what I could remember, Setsuna was having a really bad day. Yes, like it just wasn't his day. Literally, everything was going wrong for him. He got cut. He messed up Rina's shirt in the laundry. And then he messed up his neck because he didn't sleep well. So, yeah. However, it seems that the relationship between him and Karen, it's getting there. I guess she's even though she doesn't fully, I don't know. She has tsundere. Let's face it. That's basically what it is. But yeah, they're getting a little closer. So that's kind of nice. So, well, let's continue with the story. With everything that can be done inside the house mostly finished, we expand our scope to cleaning around the mansion, heading outside with brooms in hand. Phew. I shoved the leaves I've swept up into the trash bag and let out a sigh. It's only just noon and we've already done all this work. That's barely enough for one person to do, so adding the skilled Karen into the mix really throws things out of whack. Of course, I'm trying to do it all far more mindfully than usual, but... Oh, I spot a pair of high school girls. Wonder if they're on their way home from school activities. The two girls are eating ice creams as they walk together. They're wearing the same uniform as Karen, so they must be high school students. Maybe they're friends of Karen's. It warms the cockles of my heart to hear that they're innocent schoolgirls' conversations about homework and graduation trips. Oh, I want to join in with the Kyle's girls too. I want to do homework and go to trips on with them. Oh, catching their eye when I wave playfully at them, but why are they running away? That's strange. I'm sure my smile was perfectly bright and friendly. Maybe I should have addressed them in some sort of hip and happening slang that kids nowadays like to use. And did I mishear them, or did they say something about me being creepy? Alright, I must have messed up my choice of t-shirt today, that's definitely it.
Setsuna! 裏手の方はあらかた終わったぞ。ってどうした？涙目だぞ。
You're crying. Well, he's been literally heartbroken, I guess. Not quite. More like... I don't know. Hey, what do you think of this t-shirt? Something more stylish would probably look better on a hottie like me, right?
はぁ？キモいこと言ってんじゃねえよ。
What? So I am a creep.
つか、きしょい。
A weirdo, seriously.
で、うざい。
Thanks. Thanks, keep name calling me, that's fine. Keep going. Keep going. Just keep going. Annoying me? I'm groovy, baby. Totally tubular. What language am I speaking?
なんだか知らねえけど、あんたがキモいのは生まれつきだから気にすんな。な。
Okay, I'll hang my hopes on next life. However, I wonder why insulting coming from you don't hurt me as much as they should.
あ？もっと罵ってやろうか？
If things were just slightly different, I could have been all over with those girls making fun of me. No, actually, she can easily go back to their side even now. She can give up on running away from home, quit her job, and throw herself into the club activities or something. But if she was insulting me from over there, I'm sure I'd really get me down.
で、次はどうすりゃいい？表の掃除手伝おうか？
Was I finished? Nah, I've just finished, so why don't you take a break?
金もらってんのにんなわけにはいかねえよ。
She has a surprisingly serious side of her turn. You wouldn't think she was just an ordinary high school schooler.
と言いてえけど。
She looks around the perfectly clean entrance with a small smile.
もうやることも残ってねえか。
I mean, eventually things are gonna get dirty, but over time, I guess. Alright, let's play hide and seek and you're it. What is this? Okay, fine, I'll settle for a kick in the can. maybe we can just talk or something. You're not saying anything. I feel kind of rejected. And if only I'd been born a hottie. Lol. In the end, both my proposals are rejected and we dutifully go back inside the mansion. There are no signs of either of the owners. Karen and I stand in the middle of the sprawling living room, at a loss.
暇だな。
Yeah, and I guess it's okay. I mean, eventually things are gonna... maybe we have... What can we do? Cook, maybe? For lunch, dinner? For the next day? I know. Why don't we play chess? I'm sure there was a board around here somewhere. I open up the cabinets and start to rummage around it, but...
だから遊んでる場合じゃねえだろ。私たちは雇われてる立場なんだから。
I hear her stern tone from behind. Huh. I close the cabinet, which lets out a resounding clank. What's your problem today? It accidentally comes out thornier than I intended. I can sense the mood between us immediately change, and yet I can't stop the words from spilling out. Don't need your bed to see the twist. We can have a little bit of fun. I'm sure Rini wouldn't mind.
いいわよ。辞表を出した後ならね。
Did you fire me the other day? Yeah, earlier, I mean. Technically, I'm not supposed to be here anymore, right? Ah, speak of the devil.
まったく刹那はすぐサボること考えるんだから。
But there's nothing to do. Wait, hold up. I've already finished all my work. Look, we cleaned this huge room from top to bottom.
へえ。
Giving me a look of withering disbelief, Rini runs her finger along the shelf. Then she checks her fingerprint.
あら、塵一つないじゃない。
I mean, eventually it'll come down. Huh, I never thought I'd see someone do that in real life.
じゃあ休んでていいわよ。刹那もカレンも。
How long? 30 minutes? An hour? Told you, Karen.
けど急に暇になってもやることが。
Don't push it. Come on, just take it easy. Even the boss is saying to take it easy. It's fine. If she says to take it easy, take it easy.
じゃあチェスでもする？私強いわよ。
Yeah, but that's one versus one. There's gonna be one expecting.
頭使うのはちょっと。じゃあ刹那は久しぶりの対人戦なんだか燃えてきちゃった。
Am I actually gonna play chess with you, like in real life? Am I gonna be able to move the pieces, or is it gonna be, you know, skipped? How you call it? Scripted? Nah, I don't know the rules.
知らねえのかよ。
I mean, I do know the rules, me personally, but I guess Setsuna doesn't.
仕方ないわね。お母さん出てきてくれるといいんだけど。
We should go visit her. She busts herself up the stairs by herself, taking the chessboard with her. She's always so carefree when it comes to those things. At any rate, we have our mistress' permission.
みてえだな。
Yeah, see, finally, you calm down a bit. Thankfully, the previous strained atmosphere seems to have melted away.
ただしかくれんぼみてえなくだらねえことは却下だからな。
Yeah, I was just joking around. We can play dodgeball or something. One-on-one. I mean, what can we do? Just walk around? But I can't think of any other worthwhile way of spending the time.
あんたにはかくれんぼが有意義なのかよ。
With a bunch of people, maybe, but not just one-on-one. You know, as practice for the future when I'm recruited as a spy.
されねえよ。
Personally, I think I'll be in great demand.
そうだ。こないだ宿題手伝ってくれるとか言ってたよな。
Did I? I did. I don't remember saying I'd help, just that I'd look at it.
少しくらいいいじゃねえか。勉強得意なんだろ？
Am I? Am I good at studying? I don't know. Am I good at studying? Good at studying me? What? I'm good at physical education, and that's about it.
宿題出てねえよ。
I mean, you could. Then that's all the more reason why you need to revise. you can mess up your whole life if you fail when it comes to the real thing.
受験科目にもねえよ。
Oh no, by the real thing I was just referring to the exam. Nothing runs dirty joke more than having to explain the punchline. Anyways, I don't mind showing you how to do the bits you understand, but I'm not doing it for you.
じゃあいいや。あんたに教わるのなんか尺だし。
Well, if she can do it by herself, that'd be great.
宿題なんかやんなくったって怒られりゃ済む話だからな。
We're really focused when it comes to work, so what's with this attitude to school?
仕事と勉強は全然違うだろ。
True? I feel like they're pretty much the same. Fine, I'll help you. But you have to do at least some of it yourself, deal?
よっしゃ、そう来なかっちゃな。
Honestly, talk about taking advantage of other people's kindness. Okay, I'll wait here, so you go out home and get your things.
じゃあ早速始めようぜ。
Come again? And so... let's see, when was the Kamakura Shogunate established? 1185, of course, everyone knows that. Since I'd be in trouble if I got things wrong after seeing I opened up a textbook for a quick review just to be sure. No way, completely wrong. Crap, I haven't been able to concentrate one bit on the questions. But you can blame me.
副対立遺伝子
Alleles? You're studying science? Biology? Yeah, that's biology. If she's talking about alleles. A high school girl in here in my room at the same desk sitting beside me doing homework. Is this a dream? I mean, could be a nightmare depending on how you look at it. Yeah.
なんだようるせえな。気が散るだろ。
What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm actually talking to myself. Yeah, that's true. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm just... I don't know. I'm the one who's distracted. Why did you have to change into your uniform?
だってあんな格好じゃ勉強に身が入らねえだろ。
She's really buckling down. A good girl.
つか暑いし。
Incidentally, we've moved to my room because Rini and Kuan had begun a fierce chess contest in the living room. I didn't have the nerve to focus on homework with the attention those two were radiating. By the way, why do you have all your school things with you?
そりゃこういうこともあるかと思ってだよ。
So you were planning this the whole time, huh? Interesting. Despite what she said before, it seems like Karen did plan on doing her homework. And she appeared to be concentrating harder than me, right? I've gotta get it together and work hard too. Who was also known by the name Nito Koman? Easy peasy, that's Kotaro Satomi. Wrong again. Hey, Karen, I realized I'm not very good at history.
話しかけんな、抜けてく。
Understood. Then, should you just call me when you need help or something? Or you just want me to speak here? Seems like Karen's struggling too.
あーくそ、今一瞬分かりかけたところなのに。刹那のアホ。
Thank you. Peering over at Karen's questions, I see that her pen has stopped by a question that deals with blood types. Biology, huh? Genes and stuff are tough. Look at the serotype first. If a child is type 0, you have a clue because you know the parents' genotypes, and then... Oops, sorry. Was that too fast?
というかさ、遺伝子って何なんだ？
I have to start from there? Genes are like the blueprints that make up a person's body. Half of each parent's genes are passed on to their child.
どうして半分ずつなんだよ。残りはどこ行くんだ？
Well, the sperm and the egg. Wait, why am I teaching you sex? We're not going to get anywhere at this rate. I'll take some time, but it's probably best if I explain in stages. Question 1. How many chromosomes do humans have? I'm doing it in Kuon style.
なんだよ急に。確か46本だったか？
Correct, but have you ever thought about why we have 46? She shakes her head honestly. I'm sure she just memorized it because it was written in her textbook without really understanding it. And that's exactly why she's gotten bogged down with questions and can't keep up. It often happens with people like Karen who tend to get hung up on smallest things. Like I said earlier, genes are the blueprints of the human body. We need the best number of them into tens of thousands. And so on to the second question. How might you organize these thousands of blueprints?
そりゃ例えば使いやすい順にファイルに入れるとか？
That's right. And it's our chromosomes that do the organizing for us. You can think of it as there being too many blueprints to fit in just one folder, so that's why we have 46.
ああ、なるほどな。
I mean, that is one way to explain it. Yeah. Yeah. Did I look like this when Kuon was explaining things to me? All happy about it? More like confused, maybe. Yeah, probably confused. Seeing her starting my bad to understand has me eagerly wanting to teach her the next part. These blueprints are very, very important. If even one of them were to be lost, we wouldn't be a whole human being. In fact, we'd be in real pickle. Which brings me to the third question. What would you do if you had a bunch of important blueprints to look after?
そうだな。コピーでも取って大事にしまっときゃいいんじゃねえか？
The people of old thought the exact same thing about you and decided to make copies. We actually be fine with just 23 chromosomes. The other 23s are copies. Though it's not like they made those copies on purpose or anything. It's just that the organisms that happen to have copies survived anyway.
昔の人は天才だな。
She's really inspired right now, so I wouldn't want to burst her bubble by correcting minor details. To sum up, this is the answer to your previous question. Since they're copies to each other, when chromosomes are passed from parent to a child, they only need 23, or half of them. And since they receive sets from both parents, the child ends up with 46 chromosomes too. Learning isn't about memorization. If you pursue answers to each question you come across before you know it, you have gained knowledge. I'm sure that's why I'm bad at history too. History concerns a mind-boggling number of people stretching back into the distant past, living and dying over thousands of years. Yep. But we can only learn about a small handful of people. So how can we possibly understand anything? How can we possibly connect anything? Although to be completely honest, maybe it's just that I lack the imagination to fill the blanks in myself.
コピーなんだったら子供は両親から同じ遺伝子をもらうってことだよな。で、その親はそのまた親から同じ遺伝子をもらってるってことで。
Yes, to an extent, yes. While I've been thinking pointless thoughts, Karen has started to demonstrate some curiosity of her own. Right. If you follow the genes way back, you'll eventually arrive at one single person. Every person living on Earth today is nothing more than a copy of that one original human being. In a sense, we're all brothers and sisters. I mean, that's a really big stretch, but yeah.
じゃあさ、どうしてみんな少しずつ顔が違うんだ？
Adaptation, geography, etc. There's a lot of reasons. The copies were made so as not to lose those important blueprints, right? Genes are actually surprisingly fragile, and over time they break down. So, for example, if a gene which adds skin pigmentation breaks, then skin grows paler.
そりゃおかしくねえか？だって そうならねえようにコピーを取ったんだろ?
Oh yeah, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Oops, I messed up the order of my explanation, right? If the reserved genes are working, that alone isn't enough to make the skin paler. But the child receives only half of each parent's genes, right? Whether the chromosomes they receive contain degraded or not degraded genes is completely random. Some children inherit the broken genes and some inherit the intact ones.
だからさ、両親からそれぞれもらうんだろ? だったらやっぱり白くならねえだろ。もう一人の親から壊れてねえ方をもらうんだから。
People often have more than one child. What would happen if, after thousands of years, their descendants happen to meet and get married?
あ、
Two people completely ignorant of the fact that they are genetically related to one another, but within them both lie sleeping genes that come from one particular person. The child's skin will go paler when they have two of those broken genes, although changes that affect the skin pigmentation are rare. In most cases, it's a change that endangers their lives. The children with such combination of genes die before they're even born. These weak, broken genes are destined to be weeded out and eventually eliminated. That's how humans evolve. Because sometimes a change that doesn't endanger the person's life or is even beneficial to survival occurs. Such changes eventually become entrenched and spread. These tiny changes have been repeated over and over ad infinitum among our ancestors. That's why everyone's faces look different now and why everyone thinks differently.
なんか途方もねえ話だな。
We're talking about things that are taking place over tens of thousands, no, hundreds of millions of years. It's way beyond the scale of history you learn at school, which is exactly why all we can do is use our imagination.
じゃあさ。
She took the bait. She might actually be surprisingly suited to academia, although she's a little slow.
たまたま全部の遺伝子が同じ組み合わせになる人間がいたら同じ人間ってことになるのか?
And to have the same exact same combination of genes would then make them the same person? No. Since each of our 46 chromosomes are inherited randomly from our parents, the chances of getting the exact same combination in 2 to the power of 46, which is statistically speaking close to 0. And if we consider the differences in the individual genes contained within each chromosome, it's essentially impossible. Yeah, that's why he said no, but I mean, it happens, right? However, the probability increases under particular conditions. For example, when a small group of organisms have lived for generations in an insular environment, or when artificial selectors have been consistently carried out. Yeah, if it's artificial, yeah, that's different, right? Actually, to more familiar example, now that you mention it, twins, specifically identical twins, are an example of people who have the same combination of genes.
なんだよ。じゃあ同じ人間でもなんでもねえじゃねえか。そっくりってだけで。
Yes, they look the same, but they're not. There's still something different. I remember personally taking a class of genetics as well a while back, a few years back. So yeah, I'm trying to remember a few things. Yes, they do have the same DNA to an extent, but there's a change. That's what makes them different. But here's the thing, and this is just hypothetical. Even if you had a clone of yourself, a literal clone, a copy of yourself, that copy of yourself doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna act the same as you. It's gonna look like you. It's gonna have the same DNA as you, literally you, but it has a different, I don't know, like personality. So it's gonna act different. It doesn't mean it's gonna act like you. It might, like over time, there's a probability, depending on what that clone does, that that clone might actually look different. Not even like you are, you know? And since there's no such thing as, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as like being able to put people like speed growing or fast growing. That doesn't exist. If you clone someone, you have to wait until that person looks like it. Yeah, but from what I heard too is that even if you clone yourself, that clone might not look like you. Like, on the DNA level, like the chromosomes and stuff like that, the DNA, yeah, it's gonna be exactly the same because it's a copy of you, but doesn't necessarily mean that on the outside, the outside is gonna look like you. Probably not. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's a gamble. I mean, well, human cloning is illegal, so I mean, if they make it legal, then we can check it out if it does work. Like someone clones themselves, then they have to wait X amount of time until that, for that clone to grow, if it's able to grow, because a lot of clones are unstable. If it's able to grow, and then that clone reaches your age of when you clone yourself, then in theory that clone should look like you at that particular time, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna have the same lifestyle as you. Probably not. And like sometimes you see this in like movies or TV shows, like they act monotone, like almost like androids. Nah, they would be just a human being. They're not androids, they're not robots. They would be literally human beings, just copies of human beings. A copy of yourself, basically, a copy of yourself. That's it. It's still a human. It's not a robot, it's not an AI, it's a human. It's just a copy of yourself. Well, anyways, let's continue. Well, only their blueprints are the same. As they grow, they're influenced by the environment around it. Yes, exactly. So they're not necessarily gonna always look the same. Perhaps you could say that. While the vessels are the same, the souls contained within them are different. Yeah, and yeah, that's also, souls. Not everybody believes in that kind of thing, but I mean, the people that do, that consciousness, I guess that's the other way to put it, right? Instead of using the word soul, conscience, your conscience, everyone has a different conscience. However, and usually when you look at movies or TV shows, most clones seem to have no conscience. Yeah, but I think they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose because they're supposed to be like guinea pigs, where you can do whatever you want with those clones, right? So yeah, so it would make sense that they have no conscience or little to nothing. That's why they're easy to manipulate or to do whatever you want to because they're clones. Until the clone happens to get out, like, I don't know, like a flash or something, and they act. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what the director wants the clone to do. Yeah, we're going into things that are hypothetical because, like I said, human cloning is illegal worldwide. And I'm pretty sure someone has done it already. Yeah, probably someone has already cloned a human or attempted to. But here's the thing, since there's no such thing as fast growing, even if someone were to clone himself or herself, you have to wait a long time for that, that clone to grow, the fetus state, and becoming a baby, growing up, and all that. Yeah, those stages, and that's gonna take the normal time that it takes for a human. There's no such thing as fast growing. That's why you cannot do these in batches. Like clone yourself, and within like 30 minutes, it's already, the size of a child or maybe a teenager. Yeah, it doesn't happen. But then again, you often hear the identical twins are connected by something resembling kind of telepathic force. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a twin. I don't have any twins. And I've met just a few of them. And I don't know, sometimes you do hear this, that they have some sort of connection. And there are times that they're totally the opposite. They look the same, but they do things differently. Completely. So it depends. So perhaps their souls are also bounded together somehow. Nah, I'm getting overly romantic now.
まあ、おかげで遺伝子が何なのかってことはよくわかったよ。
Yeah, hey, genetics 101 here.
つまり、この問題に出てくる副対立遺伝子ってのは。
Cannon runs her finger along the question. Did I confuse her? It made it worse, probably. I might have gone about explaining things in the wrong way. Sorry, that stuff wasn't really irrelevant. Remember what I said about being there being two sets of genes, so they have a spare in case one of them gets broken.
ああ、ちゃんと覚えたぞ。
That was actually a lie. Whoops, and was following along so happily. I mean, it wasn't a total lie, but think of what I said so far as the basics. Now we're putting them in practical use. This is going to get a bit complicated. For now, we'll refer to the original genes as genes A and the degraded ones as gene 0. Even if an A gene degrades completely and changes into a 0 gene, or is that an O? I think that's a 0. The copy, in other words, another A gene can start to function. That's the basics. But at the same time, sometimes the 0 gene doesn't break down completely and starts performing a different function.
つまり壊れかけた遺伝子も予備も両方とも働くってことか。
To tell you the truth, even his explanations started to confuse me a little bit. Yeah, like I said, I took a genetics class a few years back, and depending on the teacher, they teach it differently. So yeah, I'm trying to picture the example that he's trying to make. That even I'm thrown off right now. So well, I mean, learning experience, I guess. Assuming that what he's saying is correct. Yeah, that's also the thing. I'm trying to see if any of the things he's saying could be wrong. Yeah, hypothetical, I guess. Right, so let's call this near broken gene speed gene.
ちょっと待ってくれ。整理するから。
Karen starts scrolling in the corner of her notebook. The fully functioning A gene and the broken and non-functioning 0 gene. And the near broken B gene that started performing a different function. Okay, now that we have 3 types of genes, but let's think in terms of an actual human being. Human genes exist in pairs. In other words, every person has 2 sets of genes. Given this, what kind of combination might we have?
だな。
She writes the combinations down in her notebook. Unbroken. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're thinking about... Yeah. Okay. Yes, near broken, AB. Broken, AO. There's more, since we're combining 3 possible genes. I reach over and add her to our list. 2 almost broken, BB. Almost broken, BO. And finally broken, 00. Yeah, this is, what do you call it? Recessive and dominant genes, right? Yeah. At least in how they taught me, they put in like a quadrant. She's just using 3 right now, but you can put as many as you want to, and different combinations and all that. Yeah, it's crazy. The ones that are dominant, the ones that are recessive. I mean, they're not talking about dominant and recessive right now. They're just talking about pairs. But then you have to, I guess, put in... Why am I talking about genetics in this video? Then you have to put in perspective, like which ones are considered dominant and which ones are recessive, and depending on that, you know, what is it, percentages? That's how the kid would look like. Maybe. Wow, school, man, school, same school. So there are about total 6 possible combinations. What's the matter, Karen? Why is she looking away when I'm putting so much effort into teaching her this? Do you need a bathroom break? Go ahead.
ちげえよ。試験だよ、顔が。
Oh, that's why. Embarrassed? Whoops, does my breath sting? I hurriedly pull away from her.
臭くはねえけど。
Then we're good, aren't we? So we call these 6 types of combinations genotypes, yeah? If we put them in terms of which genes are working, then a person with an AA genotype is the same as a person with an AO genotype, because only that gene A is working. Oh, okay. By working, you mean... Oh, okay, I understand. When you say working, you're talking about... dominant. Okay. Now I understand. But a person with an AB genotype is different because both A and B are working. Yeah. No, never mind. Then you're just doing combinations. Dang it, dude. I'm getting confused. I read all this down in Karen's book notes as playing people with only a working gene A. People with only a working B gene, people with only a working AB gene, and people with neither gene working. And this is actually the difference between the blood types A, B, AB, and 0. There are 4 blood types, but in actuality, there are 3 genes that determine blood type, and there are 6 genotypes, or combinations of them. Well, you don't need to remember the exact numbers, so as long as you remember how it works, then you can figure out the rest when you need to. Even I'm getting confused a little bit, that's fine. Did I ramble on? Her concentration seems to have drifted a well back. What's your blood type, Karen?
A 型だけど。
Then I wonder if your genotype is AA or AO. Is anyone in your family a type 0?
親父が O 型だけど、それがどうした？
Oh, it's not a 0, it's actually an O, my bad. Then we know that you're an AO.
どうしてわかるんだよ。
Because I sketched a simple family tree and she looks over it with interest. I know it. At times like these, a topic close to home is the best way to get people interested. See, if your father's blood type is 0 or O, the only possible genotype he could have is 00, right? So if your father is OO, that means you also must have inherited one of those O genes.
なるほど。だから私は AO 型になるってことか。
I don't know my own blood type, but for example, I add to the family tree. If we got a child with blood type A, then I could be any type. AB, AB, or 0.
ってどうして私と子供作るんだよ。
And if the next child was type B, then that would narrow it down to me being either A or AB, type B or AB.
ああ、2人も。
And if the third was type 0, then we could confirm for certain that I was a type B.
そんなくだらねえこと確かめるために3人も産まねえよ。
Then how many would you have?
そういう話じゃねえよ。そもそもどうしてあんたと結婚しなくちゃいけねえんだよ。
Well, you're the closest woman at hand.
ふざけんな。
I was talking about the family tree. To sum it up, if you understand the mechanics, you can infer your own blood type for those of your family members. The same goes for the problem you were trying to solve earlier. By coincidence, the questions gave the mother and her parents' blood types and asked you to find the father's blood type from the blood type of their child. It's easier to get your head around it if you substitute familiar examples. You can think of the mother as you and the father as me.
短すぎんだよ。
Then, who would you prefer?
つか、現実的にありえねえだろこんなん。
You and me having kids.
ちげえよ、死ねよ。わざわざ子供の血液型から親の血液型を求めることがだよ。だってこれ検査とかでわざわざ子供の血液型調べてんだろ。
Yeah, in real life.
だったらそん時親も一緒に検査受けりゃいいじゃねえか。
Oh, I see. Since it's not something about that would realistically happen, she's not inclined to think about it seriously. That's the common issue with those who dislike studying. That was a bad example. Like, how about this? You have a child, but you don't know who the father is.
もっとありえねえよ。
No, hear me out. It happens a lot. Men are selfish. They'll run out on you at the drop of a hat. Okay, we're going from genetics to something else, parenting.
そりゃあんただけだろ。一般論みたいに語るんじゃねえよ。
Me, I'm the type of guy who marries for life. I make some further additions to the family tree or the blueprint for my future. And then I'll live out at the end of my days peacefully, surrounded by my grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
うわー、やめろ。
She rubbed seriously at the drawing with her eraser. My features blank page again.
つか、とっくにどっかにいるんじゃねえのか
Oh, yeah, because I come from the future, isn't it? She starts redrawing the family tree. She draws a line out horizontally from my spot. Then one
あん
downward.
たの子供とかさ。
Nah, I told you, I'm the devoted type.
何にも覚えてねえんだろ
I find myself at a loss for words. Do I have a family somewhere out there? Do I have a wife and children waiting for me to come home? No way, I couldn't possibly.
ありえねえ話じゃねえだろ。あんたくらいの年ならさ。
My age. Right, how old am I anyway?
どうした刹那
Well, something happened. My head is splitting open.
おい、大丈夫か誰か呼んでこようか
I'm remembering something.
刹那おい、刹那ったら
Acha.
は
Got you good. near.
し
Okay, she's gonna punch me. Yep. That's a good way to end this. Okay.
死ね
Yeah, it was time. It was time. I mean, we've been doing this for 40 minutes. Genetics class. Heck yeah. That was more. Wow, 3 times. Super effective. Oh, that hurts. Okay, with the pointy corners of your. Oh, fuck.
ざけんなよ心配した私がバカみたいじゃねえか
Oh, what's this? You were worried about me.
してねえよ
Wait, she's stabbing me now? Don't stab me with your pencil.
ったくふざけてねえで宿題に戻ろうぜ
With a big sigh, she starts back at her homework problems. Should be stairs. Anyways, dear me, this girl can't take a joke. Oh, maybe I'm the one who can't take the joke. Karen's sitting there in her school uniform. With her homework in front of her is a picture of a completely normal high school girl. Before me is a regular everyday scene that you could encounter anywhere in this country. However, as far as I can tell, neither Rene nor Sarah go to school. And of course, I won't be experiencing that normal life either. Normal life is probably not as universal as we're prone to think. Oh, we're changing? You said I might have a family. I speak up without stopping my work. Sure, she'll permit me a bit of chatter. Sure I don't. If I did, they'd be searching for me right now. Right, this is just idle talk. I'm not taking it out on her. I'm not taking it out on her at all.
じゃあさ恋人とかは
A girlfriend? Who knows? Even if I did, it doesn't matter now.
薄情なやつだなそれでよく一途とか言えたもんだ
Then what about you? Aren't you the same as me?
私のどこがあんたと同じなんだよ
I thought you were going to leave the island and abandon your family. Her hand halts. Perhaps she hadn't been aware of it by herself. Leaving home and seeking a life in a new place would make her just like me. And no, since she'll have to make it happen herself, she'll be walking an even lonelier path. She'll never be able to go back to her normal life. Is she prepared for that?
私が捨てるんじゃねえよ私が
Oh, your
捨てられ
mom?
たんだよ
You're talking about your mom. Yeah, she was talking about her mom. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. Man, that was long. Yeah, I think this is the longest video in a while. But that was good. I liked the story and I liked the part of the genetics class, basically. Yeah, it was good to, even for me, like a little bit of a remembrance of my genetics class a few years back. So that was nice, interesting. I was not expecting a genetics class in this game. Extremely briefly. I mean, what, almost I mean, this video is what, it's gonna be close to 50 minutes, so a class and the dialogue of the genetics part was like about 30 minutes maybe. So yeah, it makes sense. That's about how long a class would be, more or less. Usually could be longer, like an hour, 2 hours. Yeah. Well, anyways, that was nice. That was nice. I was not expecting the genetics class, like I said. Interesting. So that was kind of cool. And well, we changed the topic to, well, she wants to find her mom, who left her, apparently, and she wants to go find her, but she's not in the island, she's outside of the island, so we'll see if she's able to go out into the mainland. Well, anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far into the video, leave a like, leave a comment if you liked as well, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one.